So it is 3 a.m. and your mind is just racing like, I don't know, like it's the middle of the Daytona 500, right? And you were just staring at the ceiling.
Yeah, we've all been trapped in that cycle.
Right, exactly. So today we're actually doing a deep dive into this comprehensive 2026 Biopreneur review. It's about a sleep supplement called U-Sleep. And they claim to have found this literal express lane to just shut down that 3 a.m. panic.
Yeah, the mission here is really to cut through, all the massive hype in the supplement industry. We want to figure out if this specific liquid formula is a genuine scientific shortcut for that stress-driven sleeplessness, or if it's just, well, another fad.
Right. And to figure out if it actually works, we first have to look at how it enters the body, which is, I mean, it's the biggest differentiator here.
Exactly, because it's not a traditional pill. It uses this sublingual nano-emulsification.
Which, okay, if you think about taking a traditional capsule, it's kind of like sitting in a 45-minute traffic jam. It has to go through your stomach, deal with digestive acids, and just, slowly process before it actually does anything for you.
Yeah, and the nano-emulsification changes that completely. It breaks the active molecules down so small that they just pass right through the lipid barriers, the mucous membranes in your mouth.
So you just put the drops under your tongue.
Right, exactly, under the tongue, and the ingredients go straight into the bloodstream. It completely bypasses the digestive system.
Wow, so it's a VIP express lane. But here is where it gets really interesting to me. The review points out that the formula uses a highly calibrated 2.3 milligram dose of melatonin.
Yeah, which is huge because you walk into any pharmacy and see brands selling these massive 10 or 20 milligram megadoses.
Right, which always leave me feeling terrible.
Well, yeah, because those megadoses just overwhelm your biology. That's what causes that groggy next day hangover feeling. This 2.3 milligram dose is actually designed to work with your natural melatonin curve.
So it's not fighting your body?
Exactly. It signals the brain that it is time to wind down instead of just forcing it into submission.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit, though, because for anyone dealing with chronic stress, I mean, a low dose of melatonin alone usually is not enough to calm things down.
Right. It's not a magic bullet on its own.
So is this formula just a mild chemical knockout punch? Because if we aren't fixing the underlying problem here, we're just putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound.
No, that is a great point. If we zoom out and look at the bigger picture, it is actually targeting the cortisol sleep bidirectional feedback loop.
The cortisol loop.
Yeah, so if you are tossing and turning all night, your cortisol stays elevated the entire next day. And then that high cortisol prevents you from sleeping the following night. It is a vicious cycle.
Oh, man. So how does U-Sleep actually break that?
It uses a multi-pathway approach.
Meaning it delivers different tools for different parts of the brain.
Exactly. First, you have GABA and L-Theanine. They basically act as the nervous system's brakes. They physically bind to receptors in your brain to inhibit overactivity and lower that electrical chatter.
Okay, so that slows things down.
Right. And then it delivers 5-HTP and vitamin B6. Your brain actually converts the 5-HTP into serotonin, which it then synthesizes into its own natural melatonin.
Wow, okay, so you are giving the body the raw materials to just run its own factory.
Exactly, yeah. And then this factory gets put on a strict schedule with vitamin B2.
Wait, B2?
Yeah, B2 influences clock gene expression. It interacts with the proteins that dictate your circadian rhythm, which physically helps reset your internal clock over time.
Okay, but since it's relying on resetting that internal clock and really rebuilding your sleep architecture, this is not going to fix everything on night one, right? What is the catch here?
Well, no supplement is perfect, and the review does highlight a few blind spots. First, it requires patience. It takes 2 to 4 weeks of consistent use to really rebuild that sleep architecture.
2 to 4 weeks. Okay.
What else? Second, because it is a liquid, there is a super high risk of counterfeits on third-party sites. You basically have to buy direct to make sure you get the real thing.
Right. Okay, so patience and sourcing are definitely hurdles. But looking at the ingredients, I mean, it feels like it's missing something really obvious.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, we are talking about cortisol and stress, but what about the giant elephant in the room? Like, what about caffeine?
Yeah, that is honestly the formula's most significant blind spot. It does absolutely nothing for caffeine clearance.
Nothing at all.
Zero. The review actually compares it to a main competitor called Sleep Revive, which uses an ingredient called rutacarpine. That actually stimulates liver enzymes to actively clear caffeine from your body. You sleep just assumes your system is already caffeine-free by bedtime.
Oh, wow. Okay, so what does this all mean for you listening? If you are dealing with stress-driven sleeplessness, I mean, not severe clinical insomnia, but stress-related, the Biopreneur review suggests this multi-pathway sublingual approach is a really highly effective non-habit-forming option.
It is, yeah. But this caffeine thing raises a really important question for your own routine.
Right, because the review notes that caffeine has a 5 to 7 hour half-life.
Exactly. So that means your 2 p.m. coffee still has meaningful stimulant activity just pumping through your system at 10 p.m.
Right, so if you are taking any sleep supplement while that caffeine is still active, you have to ask yourself, is the formula truly fixing your biology? Or is it just entering this weird chemical wrestling match with your afternoon latte?
Yeah, it's definitely something to mull over.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully tonight you won't be staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. trying to figure it out.